being ran. Yes, I like gangbangs. I like being manhandled by several different men at once. If you want to call it being ran, you call it whatever the fuck you want. I'm sexually liberated and I'm a goddess and I deserve to have hands all over my body.
Right.
I deserve to be worshipped. Like, why not? I deserve that attention.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? We are back in the den and we are live. This is the Thought and Talk podcast with Aaron EBM. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all are doing well. You know, I'm doing all right. Just trying to get back into the swing of things. Man, did y'all drink your water today? Did y'all exercise today? I am 2 races into my online marathon. If you know, or if you don't know, I've been doing this little marathon thing. We're training, for a marathon, but I wasn't even trying to actually be in a marathon. What I was doing, it was just exercising and running. If you see my community post on my on YouTube, you will see that I actually had a post of my first race. And you guys need to realize that, especially the men, we got to take care of ourselves. We die first. We're usually the first ones to die. And we don't want to speed it up. And it's so easy when you become an adult to just forget about yourself, to put yourself to the side and kind of take care of everybody else, because that's what you're really supposed to do. As a man, we're supposed to take care of the household. We're supposed to take care of our loved ones. If you have a family, you're supposed to do that. But you don't need to forget about yourself. You don't need to forget. You need to make sure that you take care of yourself, for one, and you need to make sure that you do what you can do to have longevity. You need to do whatever you can. Find a sport, find an activity. If you don't like running, find something. Experts usually tell you that 45 minutes a day of at least 120 heart rate and up, is good. You don't have to do nothing crazy. I do I do insanity. From time to time when I get bored with doing something, I kind of switch it up and find something for you to do. Find something. It's okay. We want to live as long as we can. So that's what I decided to do. And I actually started doing running, and then I just came upon the ASICS I think Ikadin, something like that, online marathon. So that's what I got into. Actually 5 or 6 legs in the race, and it's supposed to be a team event, but I didn't get a team, so I'm doing each leg of the race myself. So I'm 2 races down, 2 5Ks. I think the next will be 2 10Ks and 1 7K. So I'm finna do those throughout the week. And right now I believe that I am in 318th place out of 800 entries. So I'm not doing too bad to be by myself on this race. So make sure you take care of yourself the best way you know how. Did you go vote? There's been a lot of voting talk around the internet about these past midterms now, but make sure that I hope you went and voted. Even if you didn't vote for anybody, even if you didn't put anybody down that you felt like on the ballot or didn't know who to vote for, make sure that you just go use your right to vote. Look, they'll send you to war. The people that send you to war, they ain't got no problem with sending you off to get shot up. So make sure that you exercise your right, to go down there and put your name and put whatever you want on those papers. Some people say, well, they have the thought of just not voting, period. And that's, I thought like that at one point in time, but make sure that you just go down and at least put something on there, because if you don't go, that's just a vote. That's you're not counted. They don't care, but when they see people going and then they even, voting for people or things that they don't want them to, they feel like that's a wasted vote, and they'll listen to you, but they're not going to listen to you at all if they don't know who you are and what you're doing. Here, there's a lot of big talk about Stacey Abrams and her run, but I'm not in Georgia. So, what I feel and what I think about her positions really don't do anything because I don't live in the state of Georgia. I myself I am in the state of Missouri. So Missouri is a historically red state. You know, regardless, you know, it's going to take a lot, you know, for it not to be that. So regardless of what my political stance is, I make sure that I go vote on the amendments. Make sure you go do those things and go down there, because those things do impact you. Regardless if you think they don't, they do impact you, and you need to go see what's going on, because if not, you'll have things. My first thing I wanted to actually talk about. Let me see. There we go. No, that's not it. Oh no, it's my primary. One. Move this over here. Get off of there and let's share the screen. So right here, there's a few ballot measures in the state of Missouri. And for the most, you know, they had the medicinal and marijuana. I think they had already passed, but now what has passed is, I believe, recreational and the right to make marijuana businesses. That actually did pass. You know, even in the red state, you know, if the things that you want to pass, if you want them to pass, they'll pass. But you got to go vote for what you want to go vote for. If you don't go vote, if you let people vote for you, those things would never come to pass. But let me see that. So marijuana was there, and go down. Amendment 4. Okay, this is the one where when people tell you you really need to pay attention to what your local government is doing and not just vote for a midterm elections. This is what you really need to pay attention to. Make sure I check my chat real fast. What's going on, Bells? How you doing? All right. This is what caught my eye. You know, we went down to the polls, we voted, you know, and we got to the amendments. And I actually checked these before I went to the House, but I had to read it. I mean, before I went down to vote, but I had to actually read it a couple times to see what was going on. So when I seen this, the ballot, this was Amendment 5, shall Missouri National Guard, currently under the Missouri Department of Public Safety, be its own department, known as the Missouri Department of National Guard, which shall be required to protect the constitutional rights and civil liberties of Missourians. So if you're not well versed into language and you don't really know what this word salad is, it's basically deputizing the National Guard. You know, making the National Guard its own police entity, and whenever they call whenever they have a problem, when you're out protesting, or if you're out, you know, doing things that the city or state does not want you to do, they will actually call the National Guard like they would the Highway Patrol or the local police department, and they will enact their power on you just like any other police entity or public safety or police entity would. You know, this did not pass, but if you didn't pay attention to it, if you didn't pay attention to the word, and if you didn't go out and vote, if you didn't go out and do what you needed to do, as and to do your due diligence, and to be, you know, just do what the law and your right to do, and you have the right to do this. If you didn't go out, this could very well be a thing to where, you know, you would now have what most was some kind of people would say state. Situation happen where you actually have the more and more of your civil liberties being taken away. Now have a government entity under the guise of a public service entity to do. See, this is what the American this is what is not wanting you to pay attention to. These kind of things they pay attention to, you know, Roe versus Wade. They want you to pay attention to, you know, whether somebody has the right to call themselves a he or a she. They don't want you to pay attention to, you know, your rights. They want you to continue to fight each other over the things that make, you know, no sense to fight over, and they will keep doing it until you guys actually wake up and pay attention. Make sure this is that's down. Doing some stuff real quick. Yeah, we'll continue to do that. And I'm glad people stepped up. You know, I feel like people stepped up all over the country. I feel like people stepped up all over the country and they did what they had to do, whether you like the results or you not like the results. I mean, it is what it is. It's there, you know. But you guys gotta really pay attention. You know, they got us, you know, going at each other. They have us arguing with one another about these frivolous things, and they know it. You know, it was been several people that already talked about men's channels and talked about the amount of influence that men's channels had on the general public now, and it's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. You know, I feel like the outcry of men's concerns have actually made a difference. Some stuff real quick. All right, I have to make sure it's shared. But yeah, a lot of people don't believe that men have the, you know, a lot of these men even pay attention. They believe you're not paying attention, no matter what. You know, I believe it's a good thing that people get challenged. You know, it's been too long that we just listen to people tell us what to do. Crack every time. Turn that down a couple. Turn that down a notch. Let me know how it sounds, Bells. But I did not think I was peaking. I did not think I was peaking. But hopefully I'll be okay. Pull away from the mic a little bit. Hopefully I'll be okay. So, how you guys doing? This is the Thought and Talk podcast. We only 15 minutes in. Tonight's video, we're going to talk about the main topic anyway. If I get my thing going right there. Don't need that. Where is it? Good now. Thank you, Bells. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for looking out for me. I got it right there. Tonight's video, we're going to be talking about, you know, the white husband privilege. You know, is this a thing? Is the white husband privilege a real thing? You know, I came across this article. This weekend, and this was a no brainer. We had to talk about this tonight. So that's going to be the main topic of tonight's discussion when we get to it. But man, we got so many things. We got a few things to talk about here. Let me see. You know, it's always a good thing to talk about the economics. So I try to talk a little bit about what's going on here in the country. with the way the economic infrastructure is going. So we'll talk a little bit about that. The Salesforce workers are laid off. I've seen hundreds laid off from Salesforce for accountability measures. The world plunging into collapse and cheap money ending. Man, we got a lot of things going. So today, we're going to talk about that. First thing I've seen, first order of business is Meta. Facebook laying off more than 1,100 employees. This is something that was shocking, being that the amount of money Zuckerberg was making. But I did hear that they did have the last quarter. It was a lot of cutbacks, or a lot of the money. They weren't making the money that they were making in the previous quarter. There was a dip in revenue. So let me see. At the end of September, let's see, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook founder in 2002, Silicon Valley company, has steadily hired more employees. At the end of September, amassed its largest ever number of employees, totaling 87,314. So it's a massive company, a massive amount of people in the Facebook Meta employee world. So yeah, we all know that Facebook has a lot of employees. Man, they gotta do something with the amount of policing they do on there. It had to be a lot of employees there. So it said, but on Wednesday, now the company, now renamed Meta, began cutting jobs deeply. Meta said it was laying off more than 11,000. Let me see that, or about 13% of its workforce. In what amounted to the company's most significant job cuts, the layoffs were made across departments and regions though some areas like recruiting and business teams were affected more than others. Yeah, they're not trying to hire anybody. They tell you, the government's going to continue to tell you that everything is fine. People are have jobs, and they're continuing to have jobs. But come on, let's be realistic. Look at what's happening out there. Look at the price of everything. Look, it costs more and more. Everything has doubled. What usually takes, the amount of inflation, what usually takes a product just jumping 50 cents, well, it usually took years for a product to go from, let's say $1.25 to $1.75 would take years. But we've seen products actually jump from $1.50 to $3 in 6 to 8 months. So that's significant. People don't really believe that's significant because they're cheap purchases anyway. But think about it: if you got a $1.50 drink that you always buy, and now that drink is now $3, that makes a difference. So in what takes accountability for these decisions and how we got here, Zuckerberg wrote a letter to the employees. I know it's tough, everyone, and I'm especially sorry to those impacted. And it is business. In this capitalistic society, it is what it is. It is business. If we don't like it, we want people to be nicer, to be fair, but that's just not the way this world is going right now. So and it's not going to go like that until humans decide to do something different. And it might go that way. We might be here, we might not. But it says the cuts nearly triple what Twitter announced last week. Represents a stunning reversal of fortune for a once high-flying company whose ambition and room for growth have seemed limitless. That's what yeah, they were talking about this whole metaverse and everything like that, and and it sounds cool and everything, and it sounds like the future, but that's way into the future. People, that's not going to be something that I believe is going to take off until things get so bad. It'll be like Ready Player One. Then people will want to be in a place like that when life is so bad. When life is so bad, they'll want to be in a place like that to get away from the real world. But we're not quite there yet. It seems like we're on our way, but we're not quite there yet. Said it spent lavishly over the years, accumulating users, buying companies such as Instagram, WhatsApp, and showering its employees with uh, got my camera in the way. Inviolable perks. Couldn't see behind my camera. Now, even scrutiny over the data piracy practices and the toxic content on its apps. We're not going to do that. Toxic contents on its apps, it said, excuse me, it could dent its financial performance. And look, you see that happening right there. That's why you see the crackdown, and you can't hardly say anything on their apps because, we're getting Facebook jailed, and we're getting kicked off because realistically, women hold the keys to a lot of this, a lot of the way these apps are being policed right now because they're spending the money, they're spending the time in there, and they are the ones that are doing the most to keep these companies alive. So they're going to do what they want them to do. But this is just a piece of what's coming. Let me get the next one. All right, Salesforce hundreds of workers on accountability. Said Salesforce Inc. has cut hundreds of workers from its from sales teams seeking to improve profitability while facing slowing demand for its software products and a choppy economy. That's something else right there. They tell you that these things don't make, it's not a big deal and we're okay. But when you have outside companies controlling the infrastructure, via computer chips, you got fertilizer that's not really grown or produced or made in America. Computer chip components are not created and produced by America. And when you get a stagnant plant logistics operations that was happening over the last year or two, these things will inevitably impact the economy. For one while, you couldn't get computer chips. I don't know if the actual market has changed, but I know because I work with the actual logistics, material planning and logistics. Things have not really recouped since the pandemic. They put a shield on, a blanket to make everybody feel or seem like everything is okay and everything is the same, but it is not okay. It's still not went back to the way it was, and I fear that it never will go back to the way it was. Companies are continuing to lay off. They're continuing to trim the fat, cut the fat, try to make people that they already have do twice as much work for the same amount of money. And that is part of business ownership. We, for the most part, we get it. But how much and how long you can hold on is up to you. And I'm not immune to it. I go through it and I deal with it too. I'm currently dealing with it. And I told him myself, I'm going to be here until my best is not enough, and then we're going to see what it is. But our sales performance, let me see, sales performance drives accountability. Unfortunately, that can lead to some leaving the business, and we support them through the transition. A Salesforce spokesman said Tuesday in a statement. So that the old days of having a company or working at a company for until retirement and be comfortable with that are over with. That family feeling that you used to get from those companies are over with. It's not there. It's gone, and at this point, it is what it is. They look at you, you can have a good time there at a place, and you can be cordial and you can be good, but that that days of old where a company would, be like a extended family and would take care of you is gone. The numbers are the things that matter the most now. And it's not like it hasn't always mattered, but it's just different now. You got more and more people in the company. The companies are growing. If you're publicly traded, then the bottom line matters. It matters if you're in the red for a quarter or if you're in the black for a quarter. You have to answer to your shareholders if you have a publicly traded company, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you're there. But this economy, this logistics problem we have for especially when things coming overseas to port is horrible. I'm constantly battling with having enough product for my company to continue to work and operate like it always has. And I'm telling you, it's like you're robbing Peter to pay Paul all the time. One week you're okay, and you got one thing, one product, and it's like you got cereal one week and no milk, and the next week you got milk with no cereal. I can't be the only person that deals with this, and I know I'm not, but sometimes it doesn't feel like that. Let me see. Salesforce Meta lays off. Let me see. We got another one because people don't. I guess got to do what we got to do as far as living and staying sane. But in these days and time, in this day and time, it's not always easy. Let me see. What's going on, Sugar Bum? You know what? Sugar Bum been around. Hold on. Let me see what's going on with Sugar Bum. I might knight you tonight. I might knight you tonight. Give the old AK for Sugar Bum. Sugar Bum been around for a while. We pick at each other, but yeah, appreciate Sugar Bum. Let me go up here real quick while I'm thinking about it. Just a second. Let's get some music on too. I hate talking when it's just quiet like this. All right. Get one real quick. It was a choppy. This might close that screen real quick. Put some stuff in the background. So how y'all, man? I hate thinking about myself all the time. I'm talking about myself all the time. Let's see. There you go, Sugar Bum. I have knighted thee. And I have gave thee the power of moderatorhood. You wisely use it wisely. Don't take ye knighthood for granted. Don't take ye knighthood for granted. Oh man, what time is it? It's only 34 minutes into the show. Don't Bells, don't be up there. Don't be up there caping for Sugar Bum. She can handle herself.
Oh hell no!
Okay.
Don't be doing that. Y'all, we don't need none of that. All right. I think that's because I think it's the proximity. I think it's the proximity because I have not turned up the game. I think it's the proximity. So I'm just gonna pull back a little bit when I get there. When I get excited, or something, I pull back, and then when I talk quietly. I'll move up closer to the mic. All right, is that okay? All right. Okay. Next topic. The world is plunging towards societal collapse as an era of cheap money ends. I don't know what the hell that is, but we ain't trying to look at no app or no ad. It said the global economy is on a path of hyperinflation and risk societal collapse if soaring prices are not brought under control. One of the world's biggest hedge funds warns. So they already know this. This comes conspiracy theorists and other economists have talked about this stuff all the time. It's nothing new. People have always talked about it, especially if you really think about it. I'm a realist. Though capitalism is great. I believe capitalism is great. Nothing wrong with capitalism. I believe capitalism is one of the greatest things of all time. But if you're a realist, you realize and you know that being at the top, or the way the capitalism is top heavy. What that means is I believe in yin and yang. There is never complete balance, but it is complete harmony. And what happens with capitalism, which I said I will continue to say, which is a good thing. What continues to happen with capitalism is it becomes very top heavy, and being top heavy means that everybody's fighting to get to the top in capitalism, no matter what. And what usually happens is you have a very select few that make it all the way to the top. That 1%. And what happens is, with everybody fighting to get to the top wants to stay at the top most of the time, and who would not want to stay at the top? What usually happens is they usually try to stay at the top at the expense of everybody else. This is usually balanced and kept in check. The checks and balances would usually be the middle class. The middle class would be the ones, kind of buying into the economy, putting money up, buying, the things that the actual poor and the working poor can buy, the actual, the boats, the car, the extra cars, the extra, the stuff like that, that would keep kind of keep the economy a little balanced with the poor end of the spectrum. But what is happening, and what you always usually hear people on the right talking about, is the destruction of the middle class. Whether they really care about the middle class is one thing, but the actual talk of the destruction of the middle class is reality. The destruction of the middle class is reality. And what happens if you don't not have that middle class there is you get the imbalance, and what you're seeing now is the imbalance will get so bad that it will topple or implode on itself. That's what happens. You'll have a lot of people at the top. Yes, they buy the extravagant things, but they don't have enough money to actually, because they don't want to spend all their money or put all their money into the economy. They can't. It gets top heavy, and things hyperinflate. People stop buying. And the economy goes to a standstill or crashes. Even if with the rich, it happened in the 1920 depression. A lot of people think it's happening. It's turning back towards that, and that's the bad thing. And because in a free country and in a free market, who are us? Who are we to tell people how much money they can have or how much money they can't have, or Something else that always makes me laugh is when politicians get in and try to get in office, and then they talk about actually making medical bills and making medicine and things like that cheaper. How can you actually how can you go into a company and not be unconstitutional and tell them, unless it's a monopoly, we have things to go against something like that, and tell them they can't charge $3 instead of $2 for a medicine or a pill. I don't know how much I don't like it, especially for life-saving medicines. Without being against the law, how could you go in there and tell them that? An apocalyptic warning to clients as it rates settlers bring an era of ultra cheap money to an abrupt end. The economy faces an extreme challenging outlook, and hyperinflation could result in global societal collapse. What I just said. In civil international strife. The letter of client said the Financial Times reported it said central bank have been dishonest in the deflecting blame for the price surge from their plunged use of ultra loose monetary policy. Elliott is one of the most influential hedge funds in the world and is feared in corporate boardrooms for its approach to investor activism. Central banks being forced into rapid interest rate rises to tackle inflation, with the rate of price growth hitting double digits and 4-decade high in the UK. The Federal Reserve voted for its fourth consecutive 0.75% percentage point increase to its benchmark interest rate on Wednesday, while the Bank of England followed with a 0.75% point jump on Thursday, the eighth straight increase. See, this is what you're not paying attention to. This is what you're not really, we sit here and talk about what's going on the internet, and you're not paying attention to what's going on. If you don't think these banks, regardless if we out, we moved away from the Queen and got our independence from England, they're just piggybacking and follow suit. Those are the guys in the boardrooms talking to each other. Those are the guys who are making the decision about the rest of the world. And while you're not really paying attention, these are the things that do come to pass. It said stock markets have already suffered a tough year through global economic outlook darkens, and interest rates are pushed to levels last seen before the financial crisis. Elliott believes that investors should brace for a seriously adverse unwind of everything bubble, because the number of frightening and seriously negative possibilities. The everything bubble refers to the surge in a range of investments, including stocks, bonds, house prices, since the financial crisis, after the central banks left interest rates at rock bottom levels for years and cranked up printing presses under quantitative easing. This is what happens when they print the extra money. When people say, well, whose fault is it that the inflation is like it is? But when you start printing money out of nowhere, you put more money into the market. You flood money with the market. Flood money into the market. What does that do? It devalues the money that is in the market. It's just like supply and demand. It's all a part of supply and demand. If I add extra money into the market, that makes that money worth less. Things are more expensive. It's things you should have paid attention to. The part of school that you should have paid attention to, the part of college that you should have paid attention to. This is it. But did you pay attention?
Nope.
No, you did. But it's okay. People are here to take care of you. People are here to help you and help you learn, and it's all right. Investors should not believe they have seen everything from previous financial crises. And the letter warned, sudden end to cheap money has made possible a set of outcomes that would be at or beyond the boundaries of the entire post World War II period. See that this is messed up. The S&P 500 benchmark U.S. stock index has plunged to by 22 PC this year and dropped another 2.5 PC Wednesday. The Fed chairman Jerome Powell signaled that more rate increases are on the way. It's coming. More rate increases are on the way. So do not be surprised. You're gonna have to buckle in and have a hard ride. That's the things I've been telling you guys about. Learning how to take care of yourself, learning how to go with less, learning how to make your money stretch. I know it's been hard to stretch it all the way to where it has been or where it could, what we were doing, and now it's coming again. Learn how to take care of yourself, be self-sufficient, know that if you can't do something that you can take care of yourself. So that was that. Let me see. Well, it looks all fuzzy. Move that over a little bit. So, what's going on, guys? It's 41 minutes into today's episode, and today we're going to be talking about white husband privilege. White husband privilege. Is it real? Is white husband privilege real? Is it real, or is it just something made up? All the stuff that we've seen in this space, whether you are, what side you're on, and shout out to everybody. Shout out to the guys at SYSDM. Shout out to the guys, the Passport Bros. Shout out to you. Even shout out to those reckless divestors. The ones that really have that chip on their shoulders. Even shout out to them. Because they are humans too. I think you're batshit, but you're crazy too. I mean, you're humans too, and it's okay. I respect everybody's choices around here. But white husband privilege, what is it? What is white husband privilege? Is it just made up? Is it just something pulled out of the bowels of anywhere? Being that in the climate that we're in right now, with the gender wars and the relationship talk, is it something that will continue to be a thing? Because people have always been in interracial relationships. This is nothing new. People seem to think that like they're all of a sudden that they're on the internet and interracial relationships, whether it's a black man, black woman, Indian man, and white woman or whatever. People act like this stuff is brand new. We got black women saying they can get any white man they want. We got black men saying that they can't. And to each his own. You got women saying that all black men do is go date out. And statistically statistics don't say that. Statistics say that every 80-90% of relationships are same race. Most people just don't choose to date out. That is what it is. Regardless of what you think, you can't fight the numbers. Everybody thinks that the numbers aren't real. Some people think that statistics aren't numbers. Statistics are real. But it is what it is. We can't battle with statistics. We don't go out and see, 99% of the couples out there be interracial. But I did think this was interesting. White husband privilege. This is not my words. These are not my words. I didn't come up with white husband privilege. I didn't even know this was a thing. But I had to pull it. I had to look at it. When I seen it, I was intrigued. And I had no choice. But to pull this up. Okay, let me get the actual. Let me get the actual article back up. Sorry about that. I'll get it together one day. What's up? Hold on. Let's see what Bell said. You said it's real. White husband privilege gets to white husband gets to do anything that black husbands can. Wait a minute. What? It said it's real. The white husband gets to do anything the black husband can do, except they aren't as many consequences. What do you guys think? I don't have the game show music. You said I said it. So Bell seemed to think it's a real thing. Bell seemed to think it's a real thing. You can have that. I don't know. I don't know if it's a real thing because I don't have a white husband, so I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna look into this. We're gonna look into this article. We're gonna read this article. It said, "What's it like to have a white husband? Well, have a sorry. What's it like to have white husband privilege?" All right. It said, "I've got a white husband. Gotta buckle up for this too. Gotta buckle up for this stuff around. Make sure you guys can hear me." It said, "I've got a white husband, blue eyes, pale skin, use $10 words." I don't even want to read this. I don't even want to read this. I have a white husband, blue eyes, pale skin, use $10 words, drinks cider. His pants have a minimum of 6 pockets, and they come in one color, beige. He votes left of left. Wow, hold on. Wow. Hold on. We're gonna stick it right there. Let's stick it right there for a second.
Bruh. Get to the chopper!
We got said he votes left of left. So obviously she's saying she's a liberal or progressive, and he's super progressive. Which I'm not trying to stereotype, people's situation. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. But come on, guys. I'm a realist. When you get women like this, she's probably one of the strong and independent type, and he's probably the softer guy that she can control, and he's probably really left. He's probably one of these guys that'll tell you as a black person how oppressed you are and how could you not vote for everything liberal, and if you don't, something's wrong with you, and you're not black, blackity black. He's probably one of the people that says like Biden, and if you don't vote for him, you're not black, kind of stuff. So I don't want to stereotype, but it's what it's sounding like so far. He marches alongside his brown spouse at the TBNT and Pride. Wait a minute. He marches alongside his brown spouse at TBNT and Pride. I think TBNT is something about violence. Let's see. TBNT. I had to Google that real quick. Let's Google. Google is our friend, everybody. Google is our friend. TBNT. Sorry, TBTN. A little dyslexic. Okay, Take Back the Night. It's an international event for a non-profit organization. Its mission is ending sexual relationship and domestic violence. Okay, so domestic violence and pride marches for against domestic violence, and he marches for pride in the pride. Okay, we get it. So this is one of those man bun granola guys. It's one of those man bun granola guys. So
Bruh.
that's what it is. He's one of these man bun granola guys, and more than likely, she probably controls this guy. Okay, he looks like a stereotype from a smartphone ad. White, male, moneyed, and confident. That's my man. No doubt, my white husband is privileged. When he speaks, people listen to him and they hear him. Even when I'm the one talking to them, they still respond to him. So when I dialogue with male plumber or a male mechanic, I ask my white husband to make himself scarce.
Bruh.
Yep.
Bruh.
Say it again. One more time.
Bruh.
I told you. Did I not tell you? Let me read that again. When I dialogue with a male plumber or a male mechanic, I ask my white husband to make himself scarce. She said, get on out. Get on out of here. Yeah. Otherwise, these men will direct their questions to him. Long after my husband explicitly declares that the house and car repairs are my jurisdiction. Oh, Jesus Christ. I told you guys I didn't want to stereotype. I didn't do it. You seeing? I didn't write this article. The article is already there for your viewing consumption. She said it herself. Is that not what her husband is supposed to do? Isn't her husband supposed to come in there and stop, be that barrier, that wall, that umbrella for her not to be taken advantage of? Even though we know you're the strong, independent woman and you can take care of yourself, you're married, so you won't have to do these things as much. But you've seen in the article yourself that she makes him get out of there, get on out of there. Make him get on out of there, get out the way, because she wants to be the one that is in charge, and she wants to be the one that is leading the way when these things are being initiated. Because the repairs and of the house and the car are her jurisdiction. Number one, who makes this wife, the head of the house and the car repairs? That's a flag on the play, by the way. This is indicative of what we usually see. No, that's don't need that. Yes, I could take my money somewhere less sexist and racist.
Bruh.
Take myself somewhere less sexist and racist and find another plumber, electrician, mechanic, painter, landscaper, or more. But this form of discrimination happens all the time and everywhere. Man, I don't even have a sound for that. I wish I did. Give it the old Kevin Samuels. I prefer to make a stand alone and I force these predominantly white men to engage me. I make them engage me. See, what is people's problems? What is people's problem with forcing people to like you or interact with you? What is that? When people don't want you there, or people would rather feel comfortable with me talking to your husband because things do happen. This is the Me, we're exiting the Me Too era, but those things do happen, and a lot of times men just are more comfortable talking to men because they can't claim, sexual harassment. Why do you force yourself to do that? But anyway, what y'all think about that? I prefer to make a stand alone, and force these predominantly white men to engage me. After all, I'm the only one here. My white husband is off researching organic thermal Oh, Jesus. Yep. He's a granola. He's a granola cruncher. I knew it. I knew it. You know, he ain't eating nothing.
The chicken.
He ain't eating none of that. He's more than likely he's a vegan. No, more than likely he's a vegan. This woman seen him. This woman seen him coming and was like,
"Gotcha, bitch."
That. Y'all reading it just like I'm reading it. Organic thermal socks. Don't get me wrong. I'm interested in drama. It's exhausting being a brown woman, especially one who is more butch than femme.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh my! See, I didn't even have. This is one place that my stereotype would have been right, and you couldn't come here and call me misogynist. You couldn't come in and call me all kind of names because everything I said was right. It was right. So she's that gorilla in the relationship. No pun intended. White people don't see me, and heterosexual men are baffled in general to receive the same service and courtesy that my white husband receives. Can take repeat visits and conversations. The prejudice that fogs their perception keeps them from seeing and hearing what's in front of them. Yeah. Oh man. Isn't it weird? Okay, isn't it weird that we get these women in these interracial relationships, and they have right in front of them the very person that they are with makes everything that they say a contradiction. It's like an oxymoron. They get with a man that is outside of black descent. They get with whoever they want to get with. Because we are in a free country and we're freer than, for the most part, some people say we're free, but ain't free. We're free to do whatever you want to do in that regard, right? She's the living proof because she's married to a white man. She said it multiple times in this article already, and I'm not finished with it, right? And she has done the very thing that she is claiming, that the world is so prejudiced and so anti-woman, yet she's married to a white man. How can you be so pro-black or so, anti whatever she's anti this, establishment and prejudice men, and you have a married to a white man? It baffles the mind. How can you be pro-black and all this stuff and claim all these people are racist, yet you are with the very man that is one of the people you're talking about? It's weird. First, they have to overcome their surprise that I am articulate and I know what I'm talking about. Then they have to digest their discomfort about serving a brown woman. Oh my God. You have to discomfort with serving a brown woman. The worst case scenario center on my expressing dissatisfaction with their conduct. They can be rude, inept, and make mistaken, but there is no place for me to complain or question their performance. to double it on that one. Read, be happy. Be happy. I'm talking to you at all. This woman seems like, she's talking about the whole article talks about the white husband privilege. That's what the article is named, white husband privilege. And the whole article seems to be focused around her not being afforded the same privilege that she said her husband has. It's not about, the privilege, she's not complaining about the privilege that he has. She's saying, and I believe by the way she sounds, that she was expecting some of that privilege to rub off, and it's not sitting too well. She can't. It's hard to swallow, and she does not get the same privilege that her husband gets. After all, she probably married this dude, because he was white. They talk about how prejudiced everybody else is and how racist everybody else is, but I guarantee it was motive behind. By the way she's talking, it was motive behind her marrying this white man. Experience and exhaustion have taught me to bring along my white husband. I should have counted how many times she said white husband. For example, any visit to our son's school requires white male accompaniment. When my white husband appears at school to speak with the white female principal, he's treated like an involved and concerned parent, while I'm construed and reactive and demanding and hysterical. So when I visit the principal, my husband comes along and as the supporting cast, he sits turned towards me, forcing the principal to speak to me or the side of my husband's head, and repeats what I say word for word in a show of solidarity. It's not hysterical when he says it. It's theatrical, a manipulation of white male privilege. Oh, but it works to take the edge off. Amia Ishla is a brown mother, a third wave feminist.
Get to the chopper!
I knew Hey, I knew it. I knew something was wrong with this woman. I knew it. Either she was one of these divester women or she was a strong feminist. And she might be both. She might be a divester by night and a feminist by day. And a trauma survivor. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was the end. That was the end of that. That was the Oh man, let me hold on. I gotta take this back off. Okay. All right, let me move that back down. So white male privilege. What do I think about it? I think it's a thing. I think everybody's privileged, in some way, shape, or form. Black people are privileged to the fact that you guys have been able to, use the black card in multiple instances. We are privileged in our own ways. Some people, some better, more than others. But it's the world we live in. Some people get to use these things. Some people don't. Yeah, it's reality. Or some people, and I'm a realist. If you guys don't know about that, I'm a realist. People say, well, white people treat black people differently in situations, right? White people treat people different in situations than they treat us. They look at people different. We have to work harder, and I'll say, yeah, we have to. And what? What are you going to do about it? They look at you. They look at you like, you don't. Yes, you don't look the same. Yeah, you don't act the same. You don't smell the same. You don't eat the same foods. Okay, yes, they're going to look at you different because you are different. Now what? You're gonna cry about it? You're gonna try to force people to look at you the same? They're not, because they don't live your same experiences. They don't live with you. They don't live around you. The more than likely they don't even care about what you're doing. So a lot of the times when you're talking about this racial stuff, it doesn't even apply. They don't care about what you're doing. They don't care about you. Most people care about money and their own family. They're not worried about what you're doing. Most people don't have the time to sit there and actually impact you and your family personally, like a lot of these people are saying. It's not real. It's not real. So yes, people are different. People have some privileges. And like I said earlier in the video, this woman looks like she's upset that she's not having the same amount of privilege that her white husband has. You've seen her say it, talk about her white husband at least 15 times in this article. She wanted the same power. She wanted the same respect that her husband had, and it is not what she expected. It's not what she wants. She married this man, and unbeknownst to her, she still has to live the same life she's lived before she was with him. Why? Because nobody cares that she married a white man. She's just another woman. Isn't that what we set out to do? Isn't that the way we wanted it? The way we want it? We want to be able to do what we want to do, and people not look at us crazy and not look at us sideways. Be able to earn at our, on behalf of our merit. We wanted to be able to do all these things and not be looked at sideways. But now people want, just shows you that a lot of people are full of it. That's all. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Guys, it's been a little bit past the hour. 107, an hour and 7 minutes past the hour. At that back. 7 past the hour, guys. And like I said, I don't believe that this woman's was truthful or not truthful, but I don't think she was genuine about the way she feels. It seems like a bunch of mess. But yeah, we all have our own privileges. We work with them, we work around them. Long as people aren't shutting you out and being outright harmful or prejudiced to you, that's just something you're gonna have to live with. Basketball players and football players get preferential treatment. They get things that we don't get. They're able to use those things that they're blessed with, and look, and that's just something that everybody else has to deal with. The NBA players get preference over the WNBA players. Why? Because their physical attributes allow them to do things that the women can't do. You can't just be mad because somebody else gets something that you don't. It's a privilege that the WNBA even exists. But man, I'm gonna let that be it, guys. I hope you guys had a good time tonight, even though it's pretty light. I think we needed a light conversation after all the voting and after all of the things that we had going on with the with the world right now, with the money and everything like that. I think we needed it. I think we needed it. Turn this thing off. So guys, I don't know. This was okay. Glad you came again. Glad the people who came through stopped through. I appreciate it. We're growing. We're growing this thing. One live stream and one pre-record at a time, and we're going to continue to do that. I'm going to continue to do that until I can't do it anymore. So I appreciate it, guys. If you like this video and you like the content, you know what to do. Continue to share the videos. Continue to hit that subscribe button and join in on the conversation. Until next time, everybody, I am out.